All right, here's the Desmos slides we're working on are working with real life scenarios number 2. And I'm going to go through the first 5 slides. So, scenario number 1. Jonah bought a pizza and divided it equally among himself and 3 friends, but he only ate 2 pieces and had 3 left. So, what is this problem about? This problem is about Jonah and sharing pizza with friends. So, let's see. Jonah is sharing pizza with 3 friends. All right, second read, we're going to identify the quantities. Jonah bought a pizza and divided it equally among himself and 3 friends, but he only ate 2 pieces and had 3 left. So what are the quantities in this situation? Jonah ate 2 pieces of pizza. It's one of the quantities. There was 3 pieces of pizza left. And Jonah has 3 friends that he's sharing his pizza with. Which actually means that the total number of people that are eating the pizza is 4 people eating pizza. So we have to remember that it's himself and 3 people, which gives us a total of 4. So that's a quantity that was in there, but not really explicitly said to us. And these first 2 quantities, Jonah ate 2 pieces of pizza, 3 pieces of pizza left, those are specifically about Jonah. So most of the problem is about Jonah eating pizza and not really about his friends. Okay? The next thing we're going to do is try to represent this visually. So we want to create some kind of visual that relates our quantities. So we have this pizza. This is what I'm thinking of first. Let's see, I have this pizza. It is split between Jonah and his 3 friends, so it's split 4 ways. And this is Jonah's piece. And then of all of this pizza, he is going to eat 2. So that's making me think that we're going to take away 2 slices, right? Because he's eating 2 of these slices of pizza, and then he has 3 left. So 2 slices are gone, and then we can say 3 left. Right? So we're talking only about Jonah. We don't really care about the other 3 friends and what they ate or didn't eat, but that's the information we have about. So on our next read, we have to focus on what questions we could be asking here. Jonah bought a pizza and divided it equally among himself and 3 friends, but he only ate 2 pieces and had 3 left. So a question that we could come up with from this information, if we're thinking specifically about a mathematical question, we could be asking mathematical questions. Let's see, we could say how many total pieces of pizza were there? We also might be able to say, specifically, we might want to also add this on the side here. How many pieces did Jonah get? Or did each friend get? That's another question we could ask. Right, so a couple of things we could ask specifically. All right, so let's look at the next slide. So now, if we look here, I've added the question onto the scenario. The question is actually, how many pieces of pizza did he start with? So starting would mean the very beginning amount, not after he divided it up, just in total, how much pizza did he have to share with his friends. So first thing we want to do is define our variable. So let's pick maybe P for pizza. So P will be the amount of pieces of pizza Jonah had before sharing it with his friends. So we've defined what we want our variable to be. And then our next task is to develop an equation that represents what's going on here. So one thing we need to think about is, it says Jonah divided the pizza equally. So it says Jonah bought a pizza. This is going to represent our P. And then he divided it equally among himself and 4 friends. So that means we're going to have to take that P and we're going to have to divide it, or 3 friends, sorry, by 4, because that's how many people we're splitting it into. So then the next thing that happens is he eats 2 pieces. So we know this P divided by 4 is going to represent Jonah's share of the pizza. And he's going to eat 2 pieces, which we know is going to take some away. So that eating is going to be subtract 2. And he has 2 left. This is like our remainder. Right? So we can say maybe equals 3. So let's look at how that looks all together. So first we want to build our equation. I'm going to write it here on the bottom right. We start with our amount of pizza. We're dividing it 4 ways, and that's going to represent everyone's equal share of pizza. From Jonah's equal share of pizza, he eats 2, so take 2 away, and we're left with 3. So what's left is 3 pieces. So this is, let me write this down. Jonah's share he eats 2, 3 left. So his share minus the 2 that he ate equals the 3 that he has left. P divided by 4 minus 2 equals 3. So there's our equation. The next thing we have to do is we have to solve that equation. Okay, so let me get that typed up here for us. All right, so we've got P divided by 4 minus 2 equals 3. So we got to solve this next. So first thing we want to do to figure out what the original amount of pizza was is we got to get that negative 2 out of there. So we always focus on that constant term first. So it's a minus 2, so I'm going to add 2 underneath that and underneath the 3. And then I'm going to have P divided by 4. Negative 2 and positive 2 are going to cancel out. So I'll just have equals. And then 3 plus 2 is 5. And so my next step is going to be to try to undo the divided by 4. So I'm going to need to do times 4. So I'm going to use the star for that. Times 4 on that side. And times 4 on this side. And I'm going to end up with P equals 5 times 4, which is 20. So what does the 20 actually mean? That means that Jonah had 20 pieces of pizza to start out with. Before sharing with his friends. So there we have it. Now this next scenario that we're going to look at is similar, but a little bit different. Okay, so reading this next scenario, here we go. Raj bought pizza for his 6 teammates and himself. After everybody got an equal share of pizza, there were 3 pieces left over. The pizza was sliced into 24 slices. So, doing our first read, what is this problem about? So this problem is about Raj sharing pizza with his friends, which is very similar to the last one. Let's take a look at our read number 2. Raj bought pizza for his 6 teammates and himself. After everyone got an equal share of pizza, there were 3 pieces left over. The pizza was sliced into 24 slices. So doing our second read, what are the quantities in this situation? We have 24 slices of pizza, 3 pieces left over. After equally splitting it. And let's see, there were 6 teammates plus Raj. Okay. So as we look at what we're going to do for a visual, we might start to think about how this is a little bit different. So this time we have a pizza. It's sliced into 24 slices. I really don't want to divide it out. I don't want to draw that out with 24 different slices. So I may opt to just draw a picture of a pizza, with a 24 in it. And then it's being divided into 6 teammates and Raj. Actually. So, if I'm thinking about that, it's being divided 7 ways. So maybe I have these 24 pieces, but it's being divided 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 ways. And then there's 3 pieces left over. So I'm going to do that in a different color. That's terrible writing. So if I'm thinking about that, it's a little bit different because they're not going evenly because there's 3 pieces left over. Okay, so what are some questions that we could ask? Raj bought pizza for his 6 teammates and himself. After everyone got an equal share of the pizza, there were 3 pieces left over. The pizza was sliced into 24 slices. So last time we didn't know how many pieces there were, but this time we know there's 24. What we seem to not know is pretty much how much does each person get. The 7 people that are eating the pizza, how much do they get? So there's a question we could ask. Let me see here. So a question we could ask is how many pieces or slices, actually, because that's the word they're using in this, does each person get? Right? A follow-up question, we could think of something like, if Roger doesn't eat any, how many and just shares it with his teammates, how many would they each get? Or if Raj had two pizzas, would there be enough to split it equally, or something like that? Right, so we can focus on this question, but you always want to try to be thinking of extension questions that you could ask as well. All right, so if you look here, that's exactly the question that's being asked. So we're being asked to find out how many pieces of pizza each person got. So first thing we need to do is define our variable. So we can choose anything we want for our variable. Last time we used P, so maybe we'll use S for slices. S is the number of slices each person got. And so then we have to go and build our equation. So we need to be thinking about how does this work? How do all these numbers in this problem work us up to an equation? Pizza for his six teammates and himself, right? So we know that's going to be 7 people. 3 there. Not sure what to do with those yet. And then we have a pizza was sliced into 24 pizzas. That's our total. So when we're thinking about our equation, we should be thinking about this 24 as our total number of slices, because everything about this is about slices. Slices split 7 ways, 3 slices left over, 24 slices total. So how does that all kind of work together to build us an equation? Well, we know there are 7 people. Our variable is S, which is the number of slices that each person got. And we know that we're going to work out to a total of 24 pieces. So how does the 7, how does the 3, how does the S work together? Well, S is the number of slices that each person got. So if I'm thinking about building a total, if I take 7 people, what operation do I need to do with 7 people and the number of slices that each of them got? Well, if they each got 2, I'm going to do 7 times 2. If they each got 3, I'm going to do 7 times 3. If they each got 4, I'm going to do 7 times 4. Right? So I'm going to multiply the number 7 times the number of slices. Well, I don't know the number of slices. That's my variable. So I'm going to do 7 times S. Well, instead of writing 7 times S, I'm just going to put 7S, because that's what that means. So if I total up all the slices that every person got, then I know there were 3 more slices than that, because there were 3 pieces left over. So that's plus 3. That should equal out to a total of 24 slices. So if we're thinking about that, what does this mean? This means the total of slices given to people. Or not divvied up. They were not given out, they were left over. And then here we have our total slices. So in this problem, we're building up the total. So similar problem, but given different information, looking. So let's go ahead and solve that. So we've got 7S plus 3 equals 24. So first thing we're going to do is get rid of that constant term of that plus 3. So we're going to do a minus 3 under the plus 3. And we'll do a minus 3 under the 24. And we're going to end up with 7S. Now, no, there's nothing there. Plus 3 and minus 3 cancel out. Equals 24 minus 3, which is 21. And then we're going to have to get rid of the 7 in front of the S. We know that that's being multiplied, so we're going to divide by 7. And then we're going to go over and do that on the other side. Divide by 7. And then we're going to get S equals 21 divided by 7, which is 3. So what does S equals 3 mean? Well, that means that each person got a total of 3 slices. of pizza. And there's our sentence. All right, so we solved our equation. Each person got a total of 3 slices of pizza. So quickly, if we're comparing and contrasting these two scenarios, how are these two scenarios similar? Well, one's very obvious. They are both about pizza and with multiple people. Right, so both of the problems are about pizza. They're both about sharing with with multiple people, and they both talk about slices specifically. So you could say that. We can say maybe about slices of pizza. Okay, so there are definitely some similarities. It talks about sharing things up equally. So I think they're both very similar in that way. And what makes these two scenarios different? Well, in one we were looking for the total number of slices. Whereas in the other, we were looking for how many each person got when it was divided equally. So in both situations, there were leftovers. In both situations, we were dividing them out. But it was all about what was happening in the story and in the order that it was happening, and also what we're looking for. So it can depend on whether you're looking for a total, talking about like how the total is worked out through the problem, or it could depend on if you have a total and you're looking for a total of something else, like a total of how many slices each person has. So you have to figure out how the quantities work together. It's not always going to be the same thing. And we don't want to get misled when we see divided equally to immediately think that we have to divide, because the second problem didn't have division in it at all, even though the words shared equally were in there. All right, so it's more about the context. So hopefully that helped, and hopefully you can be successful as you move forward. Make sure you reach out with questions. Thanks for following along.